Sometimes people ask me to talk about various topics that are difficult topics, hard topics to talk about, and none more so than the topic that I'm about to talk on. One of the things I want you guys to know is that I never, ever pre-plan what I'm going to say. I open up the question and I read it, and I think if it might be a good topic, I choose it. I turn on my camera, I hit record, and I just speak. But sometimes you get a question that hits home, it's close to home, and sometimes you get a question that hits home for a lot of people, and sometimes it's a topic that is very painful. Today, I'd like to talk about suicide and the spiritual implications of suicide and suicide in general. I have heard lots of different views on suicide. My cousin, Carlos was his name. Carlos, he was half Peruvian. He took his own life. And one of the things that I find horrific is the judgment placed upon him by the Catholic Church. He committed suicide, mortal sin, right? Didn't take a confession, right? So, SOL, as they would say. But the God that I follow, the God that I know, the God that I feel like I have experienced, is unconditional love. And for someone to take their life, they have to be in such a state that they see no other way. And a lot of times that's depression, a lot of times that's mental illness, a lot of times that's just sheer fear, taking their own life. But I would say that the one who does cross over, the one who does take their life, when they cross over, they are experiencing a lot. They're going to experience the pain they've left behind, right? They're going to experience what could have been, and these are my beliefs. You don't have to take them, but these are my beliefs. They're going to see the bigger picture, the broader picture of everything. And then they're going to transition into pure, unconditional love. And they're going to experience that unconditional love from a place of no fear, no anxiety, no depression. They are in a much better place than they are here. I know this because after my cousin took his life, he came to me and asked me to deliver a message for his mother. And that message was, I am in a better place. That's all it was. That's all the simple message was. But when I went to go tell her, she asked me first, is he in a better place? She knew, she knew that that's what needed to be said. And that's what he said. That's the answer he gave. I have heard other people in the situation of suicide get mad at the person who committed suicide. And I've heard it called cowardly. I don't agree. I think that when you get lost in fear, cowardly is a judgment of weakness and you get lost in the fear and you take your own life, that's a pretty gutsy move if you really think about it. Whatever method you're using, it's a pretty gutsy move because you know what you're doing. Do I think they should be praised for it? No. Do I think they're heroes for doing it? No. I just don't think they're cowards. I think they're people who were suffering in fear and couldn't see a way out. I see there's someone who is so lost in the mires of fear that the only way out is, I can't be here anymore. I can't be in this fear, this anxiety, this stress anymore. I can't be here. And so they end their life. Do I think that God's going to judge them? No. As I said before, God is love, in my opinion. The hardest part for someone about someone committing suicide is the people they leave behind. The people they leave behind they think about that person. They think, oh my God, they committed suicide, and I didn't know they were suffering so poorly. I didn't know so much. I did not, could I have done? Should I have done? How could I have? And they get into this mindset of, having done wrong themselves, and they get into the fear state of, I could have been a better person. I should have been a better person. I should have listened more. I should have, could have, would have, right? All those are past tense words. There's nothing you can do about the experience. And them taking their own life is not your fault. They chose to do it. They chose to go there, right? And when you see them again, you will have gone through a process of going through your own fears and seeing how you have affected the people around you, positively and negatively. And then you'll meet that person again, and you'll have a unique understanding and a complete understanding of unconditional love without fear. And you'll be able to share that together. And that'll be an entirely new experience for you. They will have already done it. The pain that a suicide inflicts is inflicted because the people who are left behind miss their love, miss their loved one. The person who committed suicide meant something to them, was loved by someone, which is why those people who are left behind are feeling that expression. For the people who are left behind, what you need to do is focus on a couple of things. One, they saw no other way out, so they took the ultimate way out, the most damaging way out, right? That's what they took. If you can look at them and say, they must have been in a terrible place, a horrible place, if they saw no other way out, but to do something like that, they had to be in a horrible place. But we know full well when they cross over and they get to the other side, they are in unconditional love. Every NDE says it. I say it. People who've had out-of-body experiences say it. People who have that experience of stepping over, or in my case, that experience of Jeshua touching my heart. So the people who were here and suffering so much that they took their own lives are now no longer suffering. They're no longer in pain. A lot of times you'll see people who are dying agonizing deaths, and they finally die, and first thing they say is, oh, thank God, well, at least they're no longer in pain. Well, the pain of someone who commits suicide is just as real as the pain of an injury or pain of a physical ailment. It's just as real. It's just a different place in the physical form. Instead of being on a limb or a organ, it's in the mind. And that mind can be just as painful, if not more so. And so, for those of you who have lost loved ones to suicide, realize they are resting from the thing that committed suicide for. They are no longer in the state where they need to commit suicide any longer. They are now in unconditional love. And be happy for them that they are no longer struggling with the human frailty that took them to that state. Be happy for them. Because they couldn't see how it was going to affect anybody else, including you, because they were blinded by the pain they were feeling. Nothing else could be seen. And so you have to let them go, and be happy for them. You have to let go the incident of their passing and love them for them. Be grateful that they are no longer in pain. Love them for who they are, not what they did, or for being mad at them for what they did. Love them without a condition. Love them without a condition. And that's the way you get past this sort of situation. But suicide, as you know, I don't believe in hell or the devil. And I believe that fear is our hell. And those who commit suicide have been through hell. And now they're not. So that's my thought on that. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.